Handicapper Steve here, handicapping the racing from Ellis Park here on opening day. It is Thursday, the 4th of July, 2024. Going to look at the featured fifth race from Ellis, but before I get on to that, remember to please follow me on Twitter at HorseRacingKid5 for more selections for race courses around the world, and I mean it, around the world. Let's look at the featured fifth race here on opening day. It is the Dade Park Dash. It's going for a purse of $125,000, race for 3-year-olds here. Field of 8 horses going 1,100 meters or 5.5 furlongs on the Ellis turf course. Going to take the 6-horse Committee of One as top selection. 6-4-1-8 for me in the superfecta. 6-4-1-8 super. Top selection 6-horse Committee of One is 3-year-old colt by Mendelssohn here. Steve Asmussen trains. Ricardo Santana Jr. picks up the mount. The horse's most recent outing came 6th June at Churchill, 5 furlongs in the Matwin Turf Course and Lounge Race for $120,000, nearly as much as this race today. The horse finished 5th by 4 1/4 lengths that day, and in a very wide trip, and he just couldn't get some ground. I think he could gain a little bit better ground on this turf course. He's drawn pretty well. He's run races that could definitely keep up with these horses. I'm going to give him a shot to find the winner's circle. He ran terrifically on the 17th of May at Churchill, 5.5 off the turf on the slop and Lounge Race, $128,000. For a Lounge Race, more money worth that day than this one, the stakes race. Even a second by 3/4 length, and he had a little bit of a wide trip that day, but he really closed up well late. If the race was 5 3/4 furlongs, he probably would have won by open lengths, but not a bad race there in defeat. Major improvement off his race before in the Palisades at Keeneland, 5.5 on the 7th of April. On a softer side, a good turf course, he finished 12th by 7 1/4 lengths that day. He was wide, and he beat nobody home. He just wasn't successful there. And then 5.5 on the Stoll Wilson turf course at the Fairgrounds in Optional 100. He finished second by a length that day. And again, he was just a little bit flat that day. You know, his 2-year-old form in 2023 wasn't bad at all. He actually placed in his debut here at Ellis, going 5.5, came back to win it, place at Kentucky Downs, broke his maiden in the Indian Summer Stakes, and then ran an okay 7th in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf Sprint behind Big Eves and Valiant Force. You know, he had a bit of a wide trip, but he was really gaining that day. I thought it was a very good, sneaky 7th place finish. His form this year, you know, at times have been bad, but times have been good. You know, refreshing here, training well at Turfway. I'm going to give him a shot. I think the 4-horse Joe Shiesty for Eric Foster and Christian Torres could win also. He was the winner of the William Walker Derby week at Churchill quite nicely by 2 1/4 lengths on the front and all throughout. He held on to the race at 23-1. Maybe it took a little bit out of him because you haven't seen the horse now for 3 months afterwards. But, you know, he ran prior to that in the Animal Kingdom quite nicely at Turfway, where he just kind of yielded late. I do think cutting back to 5.5 is what he wants to do. He's drawn well. He's training well locally. Give him a shot on the ticket. But to recount my selection for the 5th from Ellis, it's the Dade Park Dash. Going to take the 6-horse Committee of One. Give kudos to the 4-horse Joe Shiesty. 6-4-1-8 super, 6-4 in the multi-race. So good luck to all. Please follow me on Twitter at HorseRacingKid5. Good luck, everybody.